Alright guys, let's get into Simi and Tiwa Savage. Two juggernauts, okay, for Afropop and Afrobeats in general from the female perspective. I think they've really had good moments in their careers, of course, peak moments that I would have loved to see them. A lot of comparisons with them, okay, they've had back and forth with fans and conversationers or those bloggers or influencers that puts this versus that, you know. I think they've definitely been compared in a lot of ways. And one big major criticism that you've been seeing from people that say, why aren't so many women making enough grounds in the top tier arena for Afrobeats? And some critique has been like the lack of collaboration with amongst them, even though if you get into the details, I think they've been collaborations, but not to the scale that are required, you know. And I think that's fair upon that, but it's nice to see two big names at this point. Simi is definitely on a verge of catching a fantastic moment. She's been putting out good verses here and here. She's almost on a J. Cole run, ironically, of good verses, because I've enjoyed everything from the Candy Bleaks verse to the very recent Dalila with Joshua Baraka. There's another feature she had in between that was really good, and I think she's just been having good impressions of verses. And we have Tiwa Savage coming off of a kind of a underwhelming feature with Odumodu Black, where she takes on a drill attempt, but then again it's nice to see her come back into a lot more conventional soundscape, which I am predicting that this would be in. Let's get into it. Men Are Crazy is the name of the song. Obviously nice and interesting title. But let's go into it, man. Let's go.
Don't introduce yourself to me when you step to me. Cause if love to me, love is dead to me.
Okay, we're going for the, you know what I mean, the little bit of a dancehall, slow wine atmosphere for this production. And Simi is opening up the record with a very, very strong vocal presence. Let's see how the record holds up.
You say you wanna show me stamina. Oh, I feel my body jack. You feel my body fun. No. Man, I'm crazy, but I still want one in my bed, and I still got one in my head.
Tiwa, let's go. Before we get into Tiwa's verse, again, we've established the soundscape. Simi has established the hook on this, and all those people that were writing think pieces once they saw the title. It was obviously exactly playing into their bait with the title like this. It's Men Are Crazy is a very bold statement to say. And you saw those Ikorodu and Tate coming out of woodworks to say, we are not crazy, and proving points of why exactly you are. But I think it's obviously tongue-in-cheek when she say men are crazy, but I still want one in my bed. I still have one in my head.
Mango dirty or white, mango color your cruise, loving the cushion bind. Can you tell me how do I recover the time? Cover this, men are scum, the talk say love is sweet. Every son, no return, I belong to the world.
This is clear Lamba pockets for Tiwa Savage, man. I like the run that she does. She's definitely has been doing runs like this in many moments, especially since songs like Loaded with Ashake. You know what I mean? She's just getting very almost rap leaning, and I love it, man.
No weather fire, but it's super. But when the nights get cold and lonely, I miss you when you're crazy.
Man, I'm crazy.
Interesting soundscape they're going for, though.
But I still want one in my bed, and I still got one in my head. But then again, it's here too dope, no skips, no fillers. I already know what the deal is.
Say I'm too dope, no skip, no fillers. Okay, she's about to get in her bag right now. I have something to say about the song though, but I think we need to hear the song out first to get into it. But so far, I like where Simi is going with this particular run right now.
You to go do, put yourself in my shoes.
I know.
Been through me, not one deja vu.
I know. Even Simi too came and I said to her, you can do that one. Let me come here and do another. I love this. I love these basketballs that are going back and forth with. Very melodic, rap heavy. Again, it's part of literally the foundations of both their pen and their structure in a lot of their verses. But I love it right now to see a song that really, really like emphasizes that melodic rap chops. I think it's very, very cool that we're getting to see that from female acts, because people don't pay attention to like the rap moments from female acts too as much, and I think it's a good look for them to really, really drive that home on this particular song. So far, we've gotten 2 strong verses that really capture that, and I think it's pretty cool, man.
Make me sing falsetto, and I saw me 'cause I like it too. Sometimes I do they forget to.
Wait, did she say I like what? Something after falsetto. What did she say?
And I saw me 'cause I like it too. Sometimes I do they forget.
I submit because I like her too.
Man, I'm crazy, but I still
Yeah, eh?
Man, I'm crazy.
All right, Men Are Crazy is the name of the record, is the name of the vibe right now. Yeah, Tiwa Savage and Simi are off here in interesting rap melodic chops on verses, but it's so crazy to see that this is a song that allows them to really show that off. Yes, it's supposed to be provocative with the title, but they really cleaned it up immediately. Men Are Crazy, but I still want one in my bed. Like, come on, like that's an easy save for the song. I love that they actually collaborate on a large scale. There's visuals attached to this. There's definitely a lot of energy put forward into this, and it's good, and I love it. In as much as this song shows a lot of their wits in terms of their delivery as female vocalists that are very predominant in R&B spaces that can show some form of melodic effort on their verses, and the beats now brings it to a very dancehall R&B-esque kind of slow whine perspective, which is cool and all that, and I definitely hear that. Like, again, to anyone that is fans of these 2 names, I think you're really like leaving with a good impression on these songs, and especially how the verses were really engaging. My issue now becomes, and now let's pull back away from this decent record that we got to hear. I think it's a very, not even far beyond from decent, I think it's a very good record. I think pulling back away from where both these artists are and their role and their position right now, I think they're both in a point where they kind of need records with utility. I say records with utility, but what I'm saying is they need like a across the board hit. You know what I mean? Like across the board. Like sweeping 5-year-olds, mommy and daddy, auntie and uncle, everybody. And I feel like for an artist like Simi, for an artist like Tiwa Savage, I mean, they just feel like they have that potential. I'm not saying their name recognition would immediately give them that, but I want the name recognition that they both have to which is in the top tier level, in order to bring that into a sonic soundscape that is really tied into something that can give people a lot of replay value for it. Essentially something with a lot more dance elements to it would have helped. And it's crazy that they went this direction on the slow pace R&B kind of wave, and I just fear that this is not the sonic direction I would have loved to see both of them in, especially at points where they kind of would use a hit. You know, they could use a hit. Both of them could use a hit. Okay, it's something that could gravitate to everybody. Make it cheesy sometimes. I don't care. I think that's a better shot to take, as opposed to going into there and really showing off your skill, which again is good. It's good that they're showing off skill. I'm a fan of this record. I'm a fan of both of them and their skill set. But I think that I'm just looking from a bigger picture type of thing. I might just be bugging. I wanted a much more rudimentary or simpler like connection. Maybe it has to be juju elements because we know that, yes, Simi has very good foundation with that sound. And Tiwa Savage also has good history with juju as well. I thought this would be a brilliant moment to kind of help with the shifts that we've been seeing with the soundscape. We saw it with Kiss Daniel early in the year. Different pattern as well is another aspect of it. Shea vibes. These are records that, or at least soundscapes that are kind of dictating where there is potential to hit. There is potential to really make a mark. Even as far back as last year, we kind of saw it with Lonely at the Top a little bit too, because again, there's potential for both of them to get into those soundscapes that are more traditional, that could, you know what I mean, get there. And yes, someone will say, nah, it doesn't really show that it's going to show that they are neat, but I think they can make it organic and seamless. Both of them, they can make it organic and seamless. I would have loved for that kind of direction. If I were in the room deciding on which type of records that you want Simi and Tiwa Savage to come together for, I am not going with this direction personally. I wouldn't see how this is worthwhile to be taken at this point, is what I mean. And I want to be wrong that this song would take off, okay? Like, would be on everyone's lips. Everybody would be singing it time and time again. It's going to be a catchy moment and everyone's going to be singing it and you're going to hear it everywhere you go. I don't think that's... I don't see it for this record, even though I think it's a nice record. It just feels like a deep cut into a project as opposed to like a forward-facing, let me pump all my resources into it type of thing. It doesn't feel like a focus track. It does not. It feels like a nice deep cut on the project. And I really don't want that for both of them. It's what I'm getting at. Anyway, Sha, I said what I'd say is a nice record. I said I'd say it's a nice record and they're both flexing both their vocal prowess and obviously their pen and the songwriting as well. And I think it's a very good record. It's just a matter of what's going to connect and what's the necessity right now of both their careers and pace that they're moving right now, you know, and especially for the landscape of female acts too, because yeah, it's crazy. But anyway, it's interesting dynamic here.